Hi everyone, my name is Allie and welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be podcast episode 3. So I actually have a lot to share with you on today's podcast, which I am really excited for. I have 2 finished objects, kind of 3 work in progresses, definitely 2. I might talk about the third one, I don't know. It's a pattern test, so I'll see how, I don't know. Anyway, 2 finished objects. 2 work in progresses and a little bit of yarn acquisition, but let's get started with my finished objects. So it's been about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks now, almost 3 weeks since I updated the podcast last. So I did a couple things during this time. Nothing really crazy. All I did was mainly work on my 2 work in progresses, and then I made one new item, and the other finished object that I'm going to share with you is from a pattern test that I can finally talk about now. So that is what we will start with, the finished objects. So I'll talk about the smaller finished object first, which is a photo card holder. I went to an anime convention last weekend and I decided to make myself a photo card holder for one of my photo cards, and this is it. It is so cute. I really like making photo card holders. I think they're so fun. They're very easy and there's so much you can do with it. This is a photo card holder for Rui from Project Sekai or Colorful Stage. I think Colorful Stage is what they call it in English, like the English one, but I call it Project Sekai. But so I have this lovely purple color with these little stars and then some beads on the front and on the back. It's kind of the same. I sewed these beads on, which was a big pain, but I really like it. I like how it is. And then I have this like little keychain that I made as well. And so it's really simple, super easy. I just used a bunch of scrap yarn that I had, Big Twist, Joann's favorite scrap yarn, favorite acrylic yarn, I should say. My cat wants to go into my closet. Cloud, come here. He's been so active today. But yeah, this is my very first finished object that I guess I'm showing it on this channel because I haven't really shown any of my past finished objects aside from my cardigan that I made my roommate. But this is like the first object that I've made and finished during the time I have been making podcasts. So really simple, but super easy, super fun, and I love it. I say easy, but it's a bit of work only because I like make stars and sew those on and then sew the cute little, oh my god, what are these called? Beads on. I forgot the word for beads. But other than that, really cute, simple. I had it on my bag. I got some compliments, so I am happy. The next finished object is my pattern test that I recently completed. I wasn't sure if I could like fully share about the pattern and like my finished object before the pattern was released, but now it has been released. I did a few updates on my Instagram during the time, but I figured I would wait to fully be able to talk about it till this podcast. So, and you'll have to forgive me because I have like 2 ends that I didn't weave in, so just like ignore them. I will weave them in, but I hate weaving in ends, so I just love them because you can't see them really unless they come out. But this is, I'm trying to figure out the best way to hold this up. This is the Alina Cardigan. It is such a cute cardigan. I like am in love. I love the color choice that I did. It's so fun. Yeah. Let me actually go get the yarn so I can talk about that. So I will be right back. Okay, I have the yarn here. These are the 2 yarns that I used. They're both Lion Brand Baby Soft, a weight 3 yarn. So this one, I feel like this, so these are both stash yarns, which are really nice. I had bought 4 of these yarns, and 2 looked like completely more purple, and then these 2 look I have another one, but this is one of the other ones. It is so much lighter and it is so funny to me. Like, what? I think I only used a little bit of this for the cuffs of the cardigan, which I will show, but for the main, I only needed 2 skeins or 1 skein of the other one, so this is like the only one I have to show, but it is this colorway. I don't remember what colorway it is, but I use this yarn, and then I use just a plain white for the contrast color. Let me start off by talking about the construction of this cardigan. So in the pattern, there is an option for a cardigan or a vest version, and I made the cardigan version, but it essentially is the same thing, except obviously the cardigan version has sleeves, but you would work the same exact way. So to make this cardigan, you first work both the front sides. So it is like, I don't know the best way to show this. So you start off underneath the arm here, and then you work outwards and like upwards towards the shoulder. So it's a really fun like pattern. I really like the way it looks. Let me see if I can, I'm like so bad at showing things. Let me see if I can show it a little bit closer. No. Okay, there we go. You can see it a little bit better. So basically what you do is you do a row of your main color. So for my main color, it is this variegated purpley yellow blue color, and then you pretty much work through the like post stitches. So they're like, I don't know how to describe post stitches. They're kind of like the back. Let me see if I can show. So on this is kind of like my raw edge that I made around. So you would work like on these little like towers of crochet, these little things. You would work either backwards or frontwards. So you would work either pulling it towards you or pushing it out towards you, if that makes sense. But so you work that, and then you kind of work back and forth between the two, and then you make these small little bumps here of the one color, and it creates this really fun texture and look to it. I really like it. It was a totally new like color work construction. I've never done color work like this before, and I thought it was really nice. It is like more of a textured stitch, but it is not bulky. I don't find it bulky at all, even though I did use a weight 3. I think recommended in the pattern was like weight 1 or 2. So I was a little worried that it would be a bit bulky, but I think it's kind of like the perfect amount of squish. It is very comfortable, very squishy. So you would make the same 2 front panels, 2 identical panels, just different, obviously, for one side and the other, mirroring each other. And then you work on the back panel, which does not have any color, does not have any of your secondary color on it. It's fully your kind of like main color, I would say. So the way you do that is pretty much you do a row of, oh, I can't remember now. It's been a couple weeks since I finished it. But it's basically makes kind of like a rib stitch with like single crochets, I think. Either single crochets or double crochets, but then one row is all slip stitches, back loop slip stitches. So it is a bit of a process to make this back, but I think it looks really fun, and I really like the way that it creates like this ribbing. It's so cool, and I think my color pulled pretty nicely. I think it variegated nice. I was a little worried because obviously in the front you can't really like, I mean, it looks fine. You couldn't tell any of like really the patterns. My cat is pawing at the window. They're just something else today. But on the back I was a little worried because I hadn't worked with this yarn before. I knitted something. I knitted like part of a sweater that I was starting, but then I kind of like gave up on it. So I didn't really know how this was going to work up, but I think it worked up really nicely. And then for the sleeve, so if you're gonna make the cardigan, then you would obviously make the sleeves, but if you make the vest, you would stop there and like connect the pieces and make either the bows, or I think you could do buttons, but I decided bows. I actually added more bows because I felt like I needed more. I originally started with 3, and now I have 4. So I added just 1 more. But I really like it. It's cute. I always knew that I wanted bows instead of buttons. I think it's my style. So for the sleeves, you do pretty much the exact same thing as you do for the back. It's got that same kind of ribbed stitch here, and you work it flat, and then you sew it together. Let's see where I've sewed it here. And then you connect it to your body, to your arm. And then for this cuff, you pretty much make like a mini version of the pattern for the front. So you can see it's got like that same little bump with the kind of like crisscross. I don't know the best way to show this. Kind of like the crisscross pattern at the same. It's the same as the front, just like in mini version around the cuff. So overall, the construction was really easy. It is a bit time consuming just because you kind of, I don't want to say you don't make much progress per row, because you do. It almost feels like you have to do 2 rows to make like 1 row, if that makes sense. But because you're working through like the post stitches, so I feel like it doesn't fill out as much. But that being said, it's a very easy repeat once you kind of get it down. It's easy to remember, and I felt like reading my work was very easy. I could tell even if I wasn't keeping track of what row I was on, I could look at it and be like, oh, okay, I'm on this row. Yeah, I think the construction is really easy. This is my second pattern test for this designer, Stitches and Burn. And I really like it. They're so helpful and so attentive, and like literally any question that you could ever have, she answers, and it's just like, she's so sweet. So I had a lot of fun making this, and I made it completely out of some stash yarn, which is really nice because I didn't really want to buy more yarn because, again, what I talked about in my Make 9 was not buying lots of yarn, so I really was happy to be able to make this in stash yarn. I used 2 balls of each color, I believe, yes. So I used 2 balls of the variegated yarn and then 2 balls of the white yarn. So 4 balls altogether. I don't remember how many meters are in this ball. I'll have to look. I will probably pop it somewhere on the screen if I could find out post-editing. But yeah, I think it's really simple. It does get a little bit time consuming, like I said, with the color work in the front, and then also the way that the sleeves in the back is designed, because you have to do a row of slip stitches, and slip stitches can take a lot of time. But I think again, once you get into the groove, it is very easy. So I really like it. I can't wait to wear out once it gets a little bit warmer, because I think I'm gonna wear like a tank top underneath this, and then like some baggy jeans or a skirt, and I think it's gonna look so cute. Okay, now on to my works in progress. So I have 2 works in progress, technically 3, but I'll talk about that at the end. But these are the same 2 work in progress that I've had the last 2 times. But I really, again, have been trying to not put a bunch on my plate. So I've been trying to just work on the things that I have started. So I'll update on the October sweater first. So last time we talked about the October sweater, I had connected the body and I was working on the body. So, well, I should say I split for the sleeves and then I was working on the body. So this is how much I have done. I can't really tell. I feel like I haven't really worked on it much, so I can't really tell if it is much different than last time. I guess I will compare. But yeah, I worked this much done underneath the arm, so I felt like I did a decent amount, because I think last time I just connected and done a few rows, but I actually stopped working on this for a little bit because I ordered new yarn. Well, not new yarn, I ordered more yarn. So I was doing the math because I only had 4 balls of yarn left, I believe, 4 or 5. But I was doing the math and I was like, there in no way am I gonna have enough yarn for this. So I went ahead and I ordered more yarn, and I stopped working on it because I thought to myself that if this yarn does not match the dye lot, I'm going to have to frog the yarn, the whole sweater, and figure out something else to do. So I stopped working on it because I didn't want to get like super far into it and then have to frog the whole thing, which would be so sad. So I kind of stopped working on it until my yarn came in, and I would like to show you the yarn that I got. Okay, so from the naked eye, and it might look different on camera, so I'm hoping it doesn't because then I'm gonna be scared, but from the naked eye, I think these two are pretty close. I think they're really close. I was actually really pleasantly surprised because first looking at it, obviously I'm like, oh, that looks very similar, but putting it next to each other, I think it's pretty on point. And they definitely are different dye lots. Even the tag is different, so I mean it's not super different, but this one has this dotted line underneath, but this one does not have that. When I believe my mom bought this yarn, this is my dye lot that I'm working off of now. I believe she bought it off of Etsy from an Etsy seller. This was kind of before I found Lind Hobby, which is where I've been ordering kind of all my drop stuff. So I was very worried and I was unsure if I wanted to ask which seller she bought this from and order from there, thinking that they might have the same dye lot, or if I wanted to risk it and order from Lind Hobby. So I ordered from Lind Hobby, and I am really pleasantly surprised. I mean, maybe there's a little bit of difference, but I feel like the lighting is not the best right now. But I feel like this top one looks a little darker on camera, but it really isn't. It's really the same. I'm pretty sure it's the same. But the real test would be working with it, so we'll see. Because I had this problem with my cinema sweater that I made last year. I bought 2 balls of yarn because I was very impatient. I bought 2 balls of yarn from one yarn store, and then I ordered the rest of it from another yarn store, and there's a very obvious line where I changed dye lots. So I'm hoping it looks good so far. It's looking promising. So we'll see when I get to that ball. I thought about attaching it because I just got to a fresh ball, and I thought about attaching it to see, but I think I will wait because I really like it. I really hope it matches. I hope it looks good. I should make a swatch of both of them together, but we'll see. Anyway, that's my October sweater. As soon as I am done my other pattern test that I am currently doing, I will really get back into this because I really, again, want to have this done before it gets too warm. It's been in the 60s here, which is kind of crazy. So it's made me not want to work on this, but I want to get it done because I want to wear it at least once before summer, which I think I definitely will. Because now that I'm working with just the body, it's a lot less stitches, so it goes by pretty fast. Just have to dedicate more time. And I've been trying to go between my works in progresses, but you know, every day is different. I want to do different stuff every single day. But that is my October sweater progress. I'm really loving it. I'm really loving this yarn. I was uncertain about it because it felt a little rough or stiff, but the more that I make it, like more progress that I make, the more really nice it feels, and I know it'll block out beautifully. So my final work in progress is the koi cardigan, or the koi cardigan, which I actually made a lot of progress on. For me, at least, I think I made a lot of progress. I think last time I had just started the second front panel, and I am happy to report that I have completed that front panel, and I have connected all the panels together and started working on kind of, so you do the back panel, the two front panels, and then you pick up stitches for the sleeves on the side, and then you work them all together. So that is the point where I am at right now. I'm working all of that together. I'm gonna try my best to show you. I am using the big cord for my size, for this size like needle on my October sweater, so I've had to put it on an extender. So let me see if I can stretch this out a little bit better to show you. It's my first time using an extender with these needles, and I really like it. It's super smart. I might have to do it for other things that I need the extender for. But, so right now I am, I think about halfway through the rows I need to do before I split off the sleeves. So I'll do, I think it's like 50 some rows to do before you split for, like, split the sleeve from the body. So that is kind of what I've been working on. And I've been waiting for it to get a little bit longer so I can take a better picture, because I feel like it's kind of hard to see. And it's also, like, with cables and, like, the eyelets, it's very hard to see unless you kind of stretch it out, because it is, you know, all bunched up. But let me try to. I should have done this before. But this is what it looks like. I feel like it looks like I haven't made any progress. But, so, let me see. Okay, so this is the back part here. So you can see it a lot better now that it is kind of spread out and connected with the sleeves. You can see the heart motifs here. So I've done one, and I am almost done a second one there at the bottom. You can't tell really until I'm done it, but, and then the two cables, and then the little like clover things in the middle. And then from this side, so from, oh, my cat is hunting. Cloud has brought me a pom-pom. Did you bring me a pom-pom? Oh, thank you, Cloud. He has been really big into bringing pom-poms to me, like, throughout the day. Thank you. Thank you for bringing me the pom-pom. Anyway, he's from this, so this is the cable that, like, starts at the sleeve. So, like, from this cable onward is the front panel. So this is really horrible. I'm so sorry. I'm really trying my best to show. So this is part of the front panel. So I've done one heart here and another heart here, and this is where I've kind of extended to make like almost the V part on a cardigan. And then from this cable downwards is the sleeve. So it's kind of like between this cable and then there's a little cable here. So that's the sleeve. You can see I've done the heart motif there, and it's the exact same on the other side. So this is the front panel here that I've connected in the cable down here, and then the sleeve part like there. Yeah. So it doesn't look like, I mean, like looking at it now, it doesn't look like I've made a lot of progress, but I have. I've done like almost 30 rows of after connecting everything together, which is a lot when every other row typically has like a pattern that you need to follow, a chart. So the chart, you really only need to follow the chart on the knit rows. There are some things on the purl rows, but it's just like before cables. There is like 2 purl stitches, like, so on the knit side there are 2 purl stitches, and then on the purl side there are 2 knit stitches. So those are the only 2 that you like need to keep up on the purl side, but then on the knit side there is the chart that you have to follow. And not every row has like a bunch, but since I'm on the heart section, it's pretty, there's a lot going on. But I like got in the groove of it, and I was really like excited to keep working on it. I think after the initial connecting of everything, I was like, okay, well, we made it past that part, it's all good. So once I did that, I kind of zoomed, that's like all I worked on for a few days, and that is how much progress I got done. So I'm pretty proud of myself. This is it's probably the most labor intensive one that I have done, simply because right now, since I'm doing the front sleeves and the back, it is 3 charts to follow. So it's a bit, I really have to pay attention. It's not something that I can like just grab and do and watch videos or watch TV. Like, I really have to be in the zone with no like distractions and doing it. So I feel like this one's definitely going to be like slower progress, but I'm happy with the progress that I have made so far. And now that I like understand the pattern more and understand the rhythm of the charts, I think it's going a lot faster than it used to. Cloud is sitting down over here. Maybe I'll insert a clip of him. He's so cute. He's being so cute. Anyway, so those are my like main 2 works in progress, and I actually have one more that I've been debating about sharing because it is a pattern test, but I think I might go ahead and give a sneak peek. I am vlogging the entire thing, the entire process, so that video will be out once the pattern is released, which as of right now the deadline is March 8th, so sometime probably in the 2nd week of March that will be out. I'm really excited. I've had a lot of fun. I'm definitely getting used to the camera more, which is nice, but let me go get that work in progress so I can show it off. Okay, so this is just a quick showcase here. This is the Rory cardigan by Jewel Makes. It is a crochet cardigan, well, crochet sweater, oh my goodness. And this is kind of how it's looking so far. I have half the body and then a whole sleeve and then a partial sleeve. And when the vlog comes out, you'll understand my way of constructing this sweater. But that being said, this is kind of the yarn acquisition that I briefly mentioned earlier. I have bought new yarn for this sweater because I did not have enough in stash for either I think you can do it with any weight, but the pattern maker did it with a combination of fingering and mohair, or an Aran weight yarn. And I do not have enough of any of those, so I had to buy yarn, and they recommended Drops Air, and I really liked working with Drops Air with my roommate's cardigans, so I decided to go ahead and get some Drops Air. So this is the color. I forget the actual color name. I think it's like Fog or something. It's light gray with like a little bit, I don't know if it'll pick up, a little bit of like darker gray speckles into it. But I really wanted something neutral for this sweater because I can see myself wearing this quite often. It is, despite it being an Aran weight yarn and being crochet, which is like a little bit more bulky than knitting in general, it is really soft. It is really airy. It's light. It's not heavy. And I actually don't think the bulk is too much. I was like, when working it up, it feels pretty bulky, but I don't know if you'll be able to really tell on camera. and I have my yarn tangled all over it. But it is really not that bulky. I mean, I feel like that's like a normal sweater thickness. It's not bulky like at all. But I really like it, and I'm really excited to wear it. I think it'll be more of a, like, I'm making it a bit oversized, so it's more of a pullover kind of sweater than a, like, well, if it's cold enough, I will wear it as like a sweater, but I think for my vision will be a pullover sweater for those days that I need a little bit something extra and maybe don't want to wear a cardigan. So that is my plan. But this is the only yarn acquisition, so I'm pretty proud of myself. Obviously, it kind of sucks that I didn't have anything in stash, but like I said in my Make 9 video, I don't have a very big stash of yarn, so it's just to be expected at this point that I will need to buy kind of sweater quantities of yarn, just because I don't have it. And I didn't even have like enough like different kinds of Aran weight yarn to make something. I think I have 3 skeins of like the tan drops air that I had, but I don't think those two would go well together because I know a couple people in this pattern test are doing stripes, but I don't think this gray and the tan would look very good together. But other than that, I don't have any other Aran weight yarn, so I was kind of out of luck. If I wanted to participate in this pattern test, I was going to have to buy yarn regardless because I didn't have enough fingering yarn either or enough mohair. So, you want to come on? He is so cute right now. Come here. Oh, come say hi to the camera. He's probably like, Mom, please no. But yeah, I think that is it for the podcast today. I am going to try to do the next podcast in the 2 weeks that I've been trying to do, but it might be a little bit longer. I do have a small medical procedure that I need to get done next week, and so it might hinder my ability to like craft, so I might not have enough to talk about the next podcast, but I'm really hoping that I will have plenty enough. But other than that is this podcast episode. Thank you so much for joining me. If you want to follow me on Instagram, I'll put my Instagram up here. It is Sugar and Yarn, and I would love to have you over there. Try my best to update regularly over there, but I just kind of go with the flow and try not to document too much of my craft journey, but enough, you know. I don't want to have to document everything, but I do like documenting some stuff. But if you want to give me a follow over there, I would love to have you. And thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this podcast episode and want to see more, feel free to subscribe. And I would love to know, hello, I would love to know what you're making. Do you have any plans for spring crafts coming up? Because it is now February. But yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye!